Yes, namaste and welcome everyone for today's webinar on the foundations of Hindu theology, exploring Vedanta and Bhakti. Our two amazing core faculty, Dr. Joydeep Bakshi and Dr. Vishishtadvaita, are our special guests today. If you haven't yet put in the chat, please do share with us where you're joining from. Hariji from Santa Maria, namaskar, thank you for being here. There's a little poll going. Let us know if this is your first HOA webinar, if you're enrolled in classes, if you're in a program. Always nice to know. All right, so in today's webinar, we are going to step into the heart of Hindu theology, and we're going to engage you in a thought-provoking conversation where devotion meets philosophy and ancient scripture meets contemporary inquiry, anchored in the Narayana, a profound theological section of the Mahabharata. This webinar is going to explore timeless concepts such as Saguna Brahma, Bhakti, Moksha, and trace how the text became a cornerstone for classical Hindu thought across Vaishnava, Shaiva, and Shakta traditions. So we're going to discover how the Narayana bridges the metaphysical elegance of the Upanishads with the vibrant narratives and rituals of the Itihasa Purana tradition. So if you're a seeker, if you're just curious, if you're an academic, if you're exploring the philosophical depths of Hinduism, this session is going to offer a rare opportunity to engage with the broader theological frameworks that have shaped centuries of devotional and intellectual life. And as I mentioned, we've got HUA core faculty members, Dr. Vishishtadvaita and Dr. Joydeep Bakshi. So let me introduce them quickly. Um, um, yeah, Shilpa Ji from Durham, North Carolina, glad to have you with us. Nikhil Ji from Florida. Chandrakant Giri Ji from Rockville, Maryland, awesome. Sorry, Joydeep Ji, the regular attendees and participants will not be on camera. It's in the webinar format, so we are the three. And maybe when we take Q&A, we can get somebody else on if they like it. So let me introduce Dr. Joydeep Bakshi, who is a core doctoral faculty member at HUA. He holds a PhD in philosophy from the New School for Social Research. His areas of expertise include continental philosophy, German Romanticism, philology, and the Western reception of Indian thought. He's also the co-author of the Ne-Science, a history of German Indology. It's a pioneering critique of the field of Indology. Dr. Bakshi has also contributed significantly to Mahabharata studies through his co-authored works, Philology and Criticism and Argument and Design. He's taught at institutions such as the TU Dresden and LMU Munich, and of course, at Hindu University of America, where he leads the History and Methods concentration at HUA, where we're fostering a rigorous yet respectful approach to Hindu knowledge systems. Thank you, Dr. Joydeep Bakshi, for being with us today. And should I also introduce Dr. Vishishtadvaita just briefly?
No, I think Professor Bakshi will. I think we should get started now.
Okay,
So,
well, let's
Professor
get to
Bakshi.
the program. I'll hand it
Thanks.
off to you. Thank you.
Vishwa, why don't you go ahead and start the slides and I'll introduce you.
Yeah, okay. So I've prepared a PowerPoint presentation for today and for the webinar, so we'll all stay on point with it. And do I have shared abilities? Shared abilities, and here I am going to go. Okay. So this is a course that is being offered in this summer at Hindu University of America. I'm teaching this course. I am Professor Adlori. Joy, do you want to add something or?
Let me begin by, so the way we're going to structure is this. Professor Adluri will give you a 25 to 30-minute lecture on the Narayaniya. This is based on the course, as he mentioned, on Hindu theology that he's teaching this summer. The course begins June 14th. It's a 4-hour weekly course, and it lasts for, I think, 8 weeks. Today, you'll only get a preview of the contents of the course, why this text, the Narayaniya, is important, how it is central to the articulation of Hindu theology. I will also then speak briefly about the PhD, the DHS, and the MA in Hindu Studies programs at HUA, so you can locate um, this course within a broader context of what HUA does and the courses we offer. So that'll be the final 20 minutes after Professor Agluri's lecture. And then we'll have question and answers, and your questions can be both on the presentation, on the Mahabharata. They can also be on the courses at HUA, the programs at HUA if you're interested in learning more and joining the courses. Professor Agluri, as you know, needs no introduction. He's very well known, widely published as an author of the Mahabharata, very strong articulator of the philosophy, what he calls epic philosophy in the Mahabharata, which is a certain view of reality. And so he addresses questions of the Mahabharata as philosophy, as a continuation of the revelation, as carrying forward the knowledge of Upanishadic Brahman, and of making that available to people, to more people in the form of the icon Saguna Brahman, through which practicing Hindus today worship and relate to the one. Vishwa, can you go ahead to the course description? Okay, so here's the course description. At the end of the session, I will also show you where you can register for the course. It's a course on the Narayani, as we said. This is a text that is not well known, but it occurs in the Mahabharata and is really one of the most sublime philosophical tracks in the Mahabharata. Unfortunately, not enough attention has been paid to this text. And today, Vishwa will talk about how you get a systematic articulation of Hindu theology in all its major aspects, accounts of the one, of the soul, of causality, of how the one relates to the many, of the world process. So we will see all these things today. Is this just a text about Narayana? No, because even if you're a Shaiva, you will find elements of Shaiva philosophy reflected in it. There are accounts of the Trimurti, there are accounts of the complementarity of Narayana and Rudra, and no god is placed as higher. In fact, there's a verse in the Narayana that says, "He who worships Rudra worships me." So Narayana himself says this. We can move on from here to the next slide. And one more. Okay, so I'm going to hand over to Professor Agluri, who will begin with a brief overview of Hinduism and Hindu theology, and then take you into the text itself, and then I'll come back at the end of the lecture.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. It is a great honor for me to be able to address you this afternoon and talk about things that are scholarly and dear to me. Before we even begin, why am I asking this question? What is Hinduism? This is because there is a lot of doubt in our minds as to what exactly Hinduism is, what its borders are, what its definitions are. The term Hinduism, some scholars argue, came from Persian to Arabic to colonial British usages and modifications of the term for the Indus River, the Sanskrit word for which would be Sindhu. And anyone looking from outside at Hinduism would see a panoply of various gods, various rituals, various practices, various texts, various ashrams, various philosophical perspectives. So it is very hard to grasp onto what Hinduism is. Simply renaming it as Vaidika Dharma or Sanatana Dharma does not explain it. But if the term was lacking, it was because the term was not needed. It was not until the encounters with non-indigenous cultures. The concept of Hinduism is basically dharma, and dharma in its many forms was always integrated. So here are a few points. Hinduism is a Vedic tradition. Sorry, what did I do? Hinduism is Vedic tradition. If you do not believe the Veda, you're a Nastika and you're outside the tradition. Hinduism is not an umbrella term, but a network term anchoring itself directly or indirectly into the Veda. So even if something is explicitly outside the Veda, even if it is a folk deity, ideas of Brahman or ideas of puja, ideas of stuti have penetrated throughout India. And as you know, these ideas come from the Vedic texts. The Hinduism is a textual tradition. We are overemphasizing the cultural part of it. We overemphasize the religious practice part of it. But at bottom, it is a textual tradition. So if you went to any small temple, the let's say Satyanarayana Puja, someone will pull out a little booklet and read relevant sections from that book. So broadly, it is Veda, then it becomes Itihasa, Purana, and Agama. Agama texts are the sectarian texts that pertain to specific matams, such as, let's say, Sri Vaishnavism or so. Within Itihasa Purana, you have the Mahabharata, within which you have the Bhagavad Gita, which is considered the standard scripture for Hindus across the board. So having said this about the Hinduism and what I mean by Hinduism in this presentation, let us get to the heart of it. In the previous slide, I said it is a textual tradition. The author of that tradition is Vyasa. Whether it was a single person called Vyasa who was historical, did he write all these things, is too simplistic and in a way stupid a question because the tradition is carefully crafting itself as Vyasa tradition, because this Vyasa first divided the Vedas, edited them. He did not author them because they're authorless, and having edited and compiled them, the next step writes the Mahabharata and inaugurates the Itihasa Purana tradition. The Mahabharata also contains within it the Ramopakhana, which is that other Itihasa embedded in it, and then goes on, after finishing the Mahabharata, goes on to write the Puranas, the Mahapuranas. Of these Mahapuranas, the Purana I have studied most closely is the Bhagavata Purana. Now, there are other traditions also, such as the philosophical traditions of the various philosophies, Sankhya, Yoga, and so on, and Paravedic traditions such as Pancharatra and Tantra. All these are structurally homologized. What word would you use? In the Mahabharata, and it is Vyasa's effort that is his directive can be seen in every chapter of the Mahabharata. So if you look at it, the Mahabharata is the foundational document for articulating the connection between Vedic Brahman and the Saguna Brahman of the various Hindu gods. So what happened? If Mahabharata was the main bridge, what happened? Western scholarship blew up that bridge. They never granted that Mahabharata was a text. They never granted that. They said it was a monstrous chaos, that it had many layers, and that the only two important questions was Vyasa a real person, and whether Mahabharata was historical or not historical. So the theological portions completely fell out, and both in India and outside, slowly, the Mahabharata became a religious text, but just a religious text. But in fact, the Mahabharata is that which Vyasa constructs to uphold Vedic philosophy. If you look at the Brahma Sutras, many of the interpretations of those sutras, Brahma Sutras is a list of axioms taken from various list of axioms that bring up various sentences from the Upanishads and resolve any apparent contradiction. So when Shankaracharya writes a bhashya on the Brahma Sutras, the arguments he's using can all be found already in the Mahabharata. So it is this text. Recently, Suktankar produced the critical edition. He showed that all those Western ideas were incorrect. So now we have this exciting text in our hands to go forward. Now, what do we mean by theology? I do not want to go into Christian theology because in Christianity, philosophy was brought into Christianity. Pagan philosophy was brought into Christianity. That relationship between Christian faith and philosophy was very, very deep at some points, very, very poor at other points. At this point, one can hardly say that there is a very deep connection with philosophy, Christianity and philosophy. So I went to Proclus, a Greek theologian, and he has something called Elements of Theology, and this is a list of the elements of theology. I have among the audience Professor Edward Butler, who went to school with me, so he would easily see this and probably do a better job of talking about it than I. So in this, there are sections on the one, on unity, on producing causes and effects, on the good itself, etc., ending with providence, intellect, and soul. I'm not going to read and explain this to you, but if you take this as a model for constructing a Hindu theology, it would look like this. So on the one, you go, the corresponding concept is Brahman Ekameva Advitiyam. On unity, Brahman is Nirgunam, Nishkalam, beyond space, time, and causation or division or definition. On producing causes and effects, there is something like karma, dharma, avyavaharam, janma adi, or it is the cause of the universe's appearance, sustenance, and so on. The immovable principle, we call it the achalam dhruvam sanatanam atma, but it didn't fit there. If you're looking for incorporeal essence beyond the intellect, you see the Katha passage, Katha Upanishad passage, beyond Buddhi, there is Mahat, and beyond Mahat, there is Avyakta, which is Prakriti. Beyond that is Purusha, and beyond Purusha, there's nothing at all. So, and then there are these hierarchies. These are not the only hierarchies, but a hierarchical system is an extremely important organizational principle in Hindu theology. So there are very, very good reasons why Indra cannot lift Mount Govardhana, but Krishna can. because hierarchically, Krishna is closer to, not closer to, is Brahman. So on hierarchy, so this Brahman is made manifest by Vyasa in the Mahabharata in terms of the descent of this one true being as Vyuhas, the four Vyuhas, Trimurti, Avataras, etc., that this being is Satchitananda, and that which produces with yajna, on perpetual, demonstrating that the world is perpetual, has many facets to it. Here, I'm just going to give you an idea about concepts like samsara, yugas, kalpas, eternity, and eternal nature. Brahman is eternal, eternal nature is dharma. On providence, anugraha, daivam, on the intellect, buddhi, vidya, and on the soul, jiva. So now you see all these concepts actually belong to a system that Vyasa knows and Vyasa is exploiting, a system that Proclus also knew, Proclus is also exploiting. I'm not saying one borrowed from the other. I'm merely saying that when you think rationally, intelligent philosophers tend to agree. Mahabharata contains an organization of dharma. Pravriti dharma keeps the world samsara going. Pravriti dharma includes Brahma, the creator, God, the created effect, universe, society, and the human being. According to the Gita, dharma is egoistic and highly punishable, whereas nivritti, you can escape the cycles of pravriti dharma through moksha. So the text is actually arranged in this very carefully in the Adi Parvan as if it were a play, as if the gods and asuras descend to the earth to enact the next cycle. Here, in the Adi Parvan, all the characters, asuras and devas, are born as Pandavas and Kauravas, and other characters that are going to play a role in the narrative. 6 books later, 18 is divided into 3, 6, 6, 6 sections. After 6 books, one third of the way, you get the Bhagavad Gita with instructions on how to live in pravritti. You live in pravritti without, but the only task in pravritti is to shave down your ahankara or ego by continuously performing actions whose results have to be given up. The results cannot be just given up, just thrown in the river, or just say, I don't care, because your karmas will follow you through millennia. They can only be taken over by Bhagavan Krishna, or some form of deity who represents your deepest Atman. You cannot give it to some other person. Even if he wants to take that karma, you cannot give it to him because he's an other person. Krishna Vasudeva can accept your karmas because he is yourself. 6 books later, 6 parvans later, 2/3 of the way, in book 12, you get Narayaniya, which also contains 18 chapters like the Bhagavad Gita. And this is the text that I am focusing on in the course next semester, where there are detailed instructions on how to attain nivritti dharma, and how to attain moksha. So those who read this text can exit the text, meaning in a way exit karma, the cycle of samsara. But for those who do not feel so moved, they can read the text again and again, if not many times in this life, many times in the next, until the text effectuates, makes possible this anticipated outcome in you, the reader. So I already showed you this. This is an unnecessary slide. So I'm going to go into Narayaniya itself. It is in the 12th book of the Mahabharata called Shanti Parva. Shanti Parva is divided into 3 sections: Raja Dharma, Apad Dharma, and Moksha Dharma Parvans. Now the Moksha Dharma Parvan, Narayaniya, is the penultimate Upakhyana. Upakhyana is sub-story or a sub-narrative in the Moksha Dharma Parvan. It contains 19 chapters in the critical edition, whereas most standard Vulgate editions had 18 chapters. The context of this is that Bhishma has discoursed to Yudhishthira from his bed on arrows. The war is over. He has already given Yudhishthira Raja Dharma or statescraft. He has given Apad Dharma or Dharma for emergency situations, and he has been discoursing on Moksha Dharma. Finally, in this, at the end of all these teachings, Yudhishthira will ask a question: what god ought one sacrifice to if he wishes to obtain perfection? By following what ritual to the gods? You know, something. Okay, I would like to get this. Okay, this is better. By following what ritual to the gods and to the ancestors should we follow? This is basically the question that inaugurates the whole of Narayaniya, in which Narayana himself, in his Varaha form, after lifting up the earth, shakes off the mud from his tusks, establishes balls or pindas, and he legitimates or sets down the ancestral worship. He also sets down the authorities of the various gods in this text. He manifests as Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra, and makes sure that the coming into being, existing, and dissolution of the universe are monitored by 3 of Brahmans, Saguna Brahmans, powers. These are called Kalavataras, not to be confused with the other avatars where Saguna Brahman descends in various forms. The form that is relevant in the Mahabharata is Krishna Vasudeva. Okay. The book ends with a dialogue between Rudra and Brahma, when Rudra asks, how many Purushas are there? How many Purushas did you create? And Brahma has to answer, you mentioned many Purushas, Tata, my son, but I will tell you the purport of the one Purusha. So this opens up the Hindu theological register and closes it. So it opens up the thing with Yudhishthira's question about that one being, and it closes with the one Purusha, while articulating that systematic theology I told you about in between those pages, in its pages. Okay, So I'm going to skip this slide because you all know the distinction between the Nirguna Brahman and Saguna Brahman. Nirguna Brahman is Upanishadic Brahman, but it would be a huge mistake to think that Upanishadic Brahman does not is presented just as is. Usually symbols are given for Nirguna Brahman, such as the thumb-sized Purusha in the heart, Kathopanishad, Angushta Matra Purusha. And there are other examples given, like a spider which withdraws its thread. Another example that is given is as a fire, sparks come out, and so on and so forth. So you should not think Nirguna Brahman is some kind of an absolute category, and you should not even think that Saguna Brahman is an absolute category. They're two sides of the same coin. If you have one, you have the other. So the narrative is a beautiful story of Narada visiting Badari Ashrama. This is the ashrama of Vyasa, and there he sees the one being in the twin form, Nara and Narayana, and Narada gains some instructions about who is the first, who is the highest deity, because Narayana and Nara are already the highest deity. Whom are they worshipping, and so on, which kicks open the narrative. Narada is directed to go to Shvetadvipa, where Hari is worshipped with flowers, incense, and stuti. This is more or less the standard Hindu ritual praxis. You can add more elements to it, etc. But it is for the first time revealed in the Hindu unfolding revelation, this idea of a private puja, which replaces yajnas and so on, Vaidika karmas. So the hymn that Narada hears the hymn that is sung, it's not Narada, it is Eka, Dvaita, Trita. They hear this Jitam te Pundari Kaksha, Namaste Vishwabhavana, Namaste Stu Rishikesha, Mahapurusha Purvaja. So since then, we often go to temples and recite these stutis. Narada Narada, on his way to Shvetadvipa, chants the many names of Hari, and these Nama Stotravalis are now invented. So you get two of those, Shiva Sahasranama and Vishnu Sahasranama, later on, after the Moksha Dharma Parvan is completed. In the Anushasana Parvan, Bhishma will give you the Vishnu Sahasranama. So today again, we chant Vishnu Sahasranama. Where is that coming from? It's also coming from here. Hari appears to Narada as the Vishwarupa, but if you look at the various arms of Narada, you will see he's not holding any implements of war. These are implements of sacrifice. So he's revealing himself as Yajna, Yajnapati, and Yajnanta, and Narada is bowing down to him with this thing. For Hindus now, worship of the Lord's feet is equivalent to Yajna. This also has a doctrine and a list of avatars. For the first time in Hindu revelation, the doctrine of avatars appears here in this Narayaniya. The Narayaniya also has the order of emanations of Narayana, the Vyuha doctrine. This is important because the Vyuha doctrine is a tantric doctrine. It belongs to the Pancharatra sect, which was Paravedic. So Vyasa is forging various elements into an organic synthesis, which has been sustaining Hinduism to this day. You all know Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And then, as higher Shiras, Vishnu reveals himself as the source of Veda, as the giver of Veda to Brahma. So there is this distinction between the creator and Saguna Brahman, and Veda or Vidya definitely has to be beyond the creator, because unless the creator is associated with avidya, he will not be able to create. Okay, but he's also the protector of the Veda, because in this short book, Narayaniya, you also have Brahma being robbed of the Veda by Madhu and Kaitaba, and those are revealed. It is in the Narayaniya for the first time that you see Sesha Aniruddha, Vishnu, with his forearms sleeping on Shesha. So that at the heart of Narayaniya is that Vaikuntha revelation. And in this book, as Professor Bagchi said, Narayana reveals his identity with Rudra, and the line is, Rudro Narayanas-chaiva sattvamekam dvidha kritam, one being with different functions or forms. Kritam can also be forms. Okay. And so the Trimurti doctrine is born in this book, in this Narayaniya book. So I'm going to skip the conclusion and leave that for discussion. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Handing over to you, Joy.
Okay. Thank you for that. There are some questions in chat, rather in the Q&A. If you have other questions, please feel free to put them, but we can also, I think that should be technically possible. Ankur, can you let them speak and ask their questions directly?
Yeah, please raise your hand in the participant window and maybe make an ask, and I can allow some people to unmute, get on camera, and talk.
So that's actually a nicer way. Even if you've put it in Q&A, it's always nice to see a face and have a conversation. So raise your hand and we'll do it that way.
All right. First person who's got their hand raised is Prabhaji. So I will allow you to speak as a participant. You should unmute yourself.
Can we also see them?
I
Okay.
just did.
What is your question, Prabhatji?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're receiving you loud and clear.
Oh, okay. I don't see the icon to, for the video, so you can't see my face, maybe. I don't know.
You have to accept the promotion to panelist. I give you both options.
Okay, okay. Oops. It disappeared actually, Ankurji. So anyway, I'll speak. My question was a very simple. Is moksha permanent? And I'll give a little bit of context. In Manusmriti, I forget the term. It is said that like 36,000 cycles of creations, annihilations. After that, the soul comes back. So I in my own thinking, I think moksha is just directional. It is not to be arrived at, and that concepts really provides the guidance how to live current life. So that's my personal thinking. But so I was going along, and then suddenly I heard in one of the discussions that moksha also is not permanent, meaning the soul comes back after 36 thousands of creations and annihilations, Srishti and Vinash.
I get the
Yeah. So
question
and
now.
then
May I answer it?
yeah,
I
yeah. And
understand. I understand.
one more quick thought. Then I read the book by Swami Dayanand Saraswati in chapter 9. He also says that moksha cannot be permanent. So I just give you perspective now what I have learned so far, along with my own personal thinking that was original, and then I have subsequently learned something. So please go ahead.
No problem. Manu is a high authority, but what Manu is talking about is if you do not obtain moksha and you just go with samsara at the time of prakrita, at the time of the laya or the pralaya, prakrita pralaya, when everything is absorbed, you go, but you always come back again because you exist there as a bija. Your karma exists as a bija. And karma can never be just cancelled or paused. It can be paused, but it can never be just, it cannot disappear even across new shrishtis. It cannot. So that is Manu. As far as those who say moksha is not permanent, there is a line in the Gita that says, Yad gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. So Yad gatva na nivartante. This is the path of no return. If that is why it is called moksha. Otherwise, it would be called loka, like a heaven. You go and you come back after your upon the exhaustion of your karmas. There is one small point I would like to make. Those who obtain moksha will they may choose to come back. They may choose to come back to do some deed, such as teach, continue teaching. So, for the sake of Raja Parikshit, to teach the Bhagavata Purana, Shuka, who had already attained moksha, by his choice returns. So, Hinduism keeps this little way open so that those who get moksha can also come and teach us and elevate us. Okay, and if anybody says moksha is not permanent, that is untrue. It will violate all of the Upanishads. It will violate the Bhagavad Gita and so on.
Oh, so very quickly, Dr. Voice, I'm sorry for your name, Visa Adori, yeah. In Gita itself, I think it's 2:12, chapter 2, verse 12, there has never been a time that you did not exist or I did not exist, and there shall never
Yeah.
be a time in future as well, Krishna says to Arjun, right? And
Yes.
then, so what that gives me the idea is that they will always come back, Atma or Paramatma in a way,
Mhm,
in avatara form.
mhm.
So how to interpret that basically, and then the way I interpreted that is to, and he also says, but I know all the past and I know all the future, whereas you don't. So Narayan knows all the past and future, but Nar does not. Arjun does not. So that's how I also derived that this journey is permanent, meaning journey continues forever. That's
If
all.
what you say is true, there is no longer any need for Shastra. The Shastra become without a prayojana, because the contingency that the scripture no longer has any value will arise, because the scripture is saying this is moksha shastra. So if moksha is only temporary, why even teach it? Why even get something temporary if everything is reduced to the flow? Sir, I appreciate your question, but we have to move on. There are other people with questions as well.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, nobody else accepted the promotion to panelist, but Arunaji, I think you can unmute. And Indus University, is that who is that? It's Raja Bishek. Raja Bishekji, you can probably unmute yourself as well. Arunaji, go ahead. You've
Hello,
unmuted
hello.
yourself.
Am I audible? Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, I'm Rajabhishek De, and I'm pursuing PhD from Indus University, Ahmedabad, on the topic symbolism, allegories, and motifs from the Mahabharata. So my question for now is, sir, can we consider the Narayaniya as a precursor of later Vedantic thought, or does it synthesize of, or it is a synthesis of Samkhya, Yoga, and Pancharatra traditions, and represent a unique doctrinal trajectory that resists full assimilation into Advaita or Vishishtadvaita Vedanta? Actually, is it a
So the way I
precursor of
see
the
it, the
later?
way the way the way I see it is that well, it's not my doctrine. Uh, Brahma Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, and Brahma Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, and Upanishads form a Trai, right?
Yes, sir.
The Trai that um, un, help you attain knowledge of Brahman. So the your question is interesting because the Sankhya that is in the Mahabharata definitely is older than the Sankhya Darshana. And the
Yes, sir.
Sankhya Darshana actually deviates quite a bit. It deviates to such an extent that it can no longer be considered Vedic. So you have to keep the two levels of Sankhya, Vedanta Sankhya uh, and Sankhya Darshana separate. I also like the fact in your question that you asked whether the later Vedanta is imbued with Mahabharata's harmonization of these various schools. The answer is a chicken and egg answer because the word Vedanta already refers to the Upanishads, right? So
Yes, sir.
the Upanishads also already contain Vedanta. So the best idea is to give up this idea that in one line of historical development, things are going on, and they develop, and then they develop, and they develop. What you should think of is that something which is implicit within the revelation becomes more and more explicit. Okay. And that which aspects become more explicit depends also on the climate or the environment in which that revelation is needed and necessary, and it blossoms in that way. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, one more thing. Actually, I have been writing articles based on your researches for a long time, and I have tried to connect with you over Facebook also. Sir, can I have your mail ID, please, so that I can officially connect with you?
Yes, vishwa.adluri@hua.edu.
Okay, sir. Even, sir, I have also developed a diagram on the Prabriti Marga and Nibriti Marga in coding language, because I have a MCA
Okay.
background.
Shall we
So
continue this conversation privately?
I have,
Because,
yes, sir. I have commented over Facebook. Actually, I have texted you, sir.
okay, thank you.
Please look at that. Okay,
Okay,
sir. Thank you.
thank you. All right. Glad that you're connecting, and we look forward to this kinds of
Aruna,
conversation and engagement.
Aruna.
Namaste, Acharya. When
Namaste,
I was
Aruna.
when I was talking about this course to few of my friends, and they want to know to what depth we are going, and because it is offered as a graduate level course, it's not the chanting program. They understand that, but they join do this course without enrolling into any courses in HUA? They want to
Uh,
know about that also.
Professor Bakshi can answer to that.
So
Thank you.
ask them to write to me directly, please, and I will take care of the enrollment. On the website, it does say admission to a graduate program of study, but I want to open this course up and get new students. So anyone who wants to join, just write to me directly and I will arrange your enrollment.
You
Awesome.
Thank you so
also
much.
do not have to have taken any courses in the Mahabharata or so. So if this is the first course you're taking at Hindu University of America, this is a good course to take at Hindu University of America. Professor Bagchi will be the authority that will be waiving any requirements for you. So contact him.
Thank you, Acharya. Namaste.
Ankur, we have only 10 minutes and I want to speak about the HOA programs. So I'd like
Yeah.
to recommend
So
that Vishwa answers the questions through typing them in Q&A. And that way we'll achieve both. They'll get all their
Okay, I
questions.
will do so.
great. And I put details of the course in the chat. There's a link where you can directly register. It's going to be on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's going to start June 14th. So with that, let me launch the poll also. Just let us know if you're interested by clicking yes, definitely you're interested in the core, this course in particular, or a certificate or degree program. All right, Joydeepji, let me hand it to you for the next part of our webinar.
Thank you. So everyone, thank you for attending, for listening to this text or Professor Adluri speak about this text. It was, of course, only an overview of the philosophical richness of this text. It's a 19-chapter text. It has very, very profound doctrines. And since I'm the only one who's read Professor Adluri's translation and read his commentary on it, I can tell you that he can write pages and pages on a single word or a single concept in that text. So it will be Hinduism will be opened up to you intellectually and philosophically in a way it was never opened up to you before. So if there's any interest in Hinduism, make the effort to join the course. Let me show you now the course itself. So this is the course page from where you register. This is the description of the course. And below you'll see the dates and times. Every Saturday, 2 hours starting on June 14th, ending on August 30th. So a compact summer course doesn't take sort of time out of your work. If you can give up 4 hours every Saturday, you will learn more about Hindu theology from this one course than doing any other course. On the left, you have some requirements. As I said, write to me directly. So I'm going to put, Ankur, can you put my email in chat? It's joydeep.bhakti@hua.edu. Write to me directly for enrollment, and we will waive the some of the requirements because I want this course to be out there in the community, widely attended. Where does this course slot in? Let's say you take this course and you say, this was brilliant. I want to do something more. I want to learn more about Hinduism. One of the places, the smallest place it slots in is the Mahabharata certificate, which is an 18 semester credit hours. So that's 6 courses that you take on the Mahabharata, and you get a Mahabharata certificate at the end of it. 4 of those courses are in the Mahabharata. If I go down here and show you, 4 of those courses are in the Mahabharata. There are 2 electives which can be on any aspect of the Western reception of the Mahabharata, because at HUA we believe not only should you get the traditional perspective, but you should be thoroughly familiar with contemporary scholarship so that you can speak independently and authoritatively about Hinduism and not be seen as someone merely religious or merely conservative or merely orthodox who's not informed about the Western perspective. So that is the Mahabharata certificate program. If you did the Hindu theology course this summer, you would already have 1 out of the 6 required courses to finish the Mahabharata certificate. Beyond that, HUA offers an MA in Hindu Studies, and that is 36 semester credit hours. So that becomes 18 courses that you need to take because each course gives you 3 credit hours. And 18 courses taken over 2 or 3 years is highly manageable as a workload. And you will get a stunning overview of Hinduism. We have Hindu Studies Foundation. So we cover Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, Vedanta, and Darshanas. We teach you research and writing. In the text and traditions section, you will see Mahabharata, Bhagavata Purana, and any other course, including Agamas that you want. We have faculty teaching those courses. You learn about yoga. You learn, as I said, about the Western engagement with Hinduism. These are the courses I teach. And finally, you can look at certain applications of Hindu thought. So that is the MA in Hindu Studies. We have beyond that the DHS, the Doctor in Hindu Studies. And beyond that, of course, we also have a PhD in Hindu Studies. And that is perhaps one of the most rigorous PhD programs designed today. As you can see here from the requirements, you will study Hindu philosophy, Hindu history, Hindu text, Hindu political thought, language, writing, research methods, and then 24 credits of specialization. So once you know what topic you want to work on, let's say it's yoga, let's say it's Vedanta, let's say it's Sankhya Darshana, any of those you take 24 credits. So that's 8 courses in that. HUA is a small university, but it is also a unique university in that it is offering traditional Hindu knowledge. We have excellent teachers from a traditional background. We offer Sanskrit, and we do this within the framework of a Western university. So you get degrees, you get qualified in these subjects, you are aided in research and writing, you're taught the latest scholarship, and you should be able then to speak and articulate or advocate for Hinduism at the highest level. If any of you are interested, as I said, my email is there. Join us, write to me, bring up your questions, say this is what I can manage or this is what I'm interested in. Would HU be a good place? My advice is always free, fair, and honest. If I say there are better programs that are a better match for you and I can write to them and let them know that you're interested, I will send you to the right program for you. If your topic of specialization isn't covered by us, I will say you will benefit from the course, but I would bring in an external scholar. I know someone in India who works on this area who would be the best guide for you. So one of the things that we're committed to at HUA is this is not education for a degree's sake or for the sake of financial profit. It's a community effort. So we are here to profit you and to benefit you. On that note, I will end. We are 4 minutes away, so I think Ankur can end the session. And thank you all for being here. If there are any final questions about the program, of course, I will answer them.
Yeah, wonderful. What an amazing overview, and the depth that you both can get into, and Dr. Luri that you got in today is amazing. And of course, in the course, you're going to get the chance to ask your questions and go even deeper. So please do enroll. We have the poll question up right now. The link is there. Justin from Poland is saying both doctors publish their books on academia pages. Warmly recommend. Justin, thank you for joining. Charuji has raised their hand. I know we're nearing the end. Do we want to take any more questions? Or are we, maybe we can postpone it till next time. So it's always my pleasure to host. Please do consider enrolling at least in the course and maybe in a whole program as Dr. Bhakti lined out. You can start with a course and figure out what you're interested in, and we are here to help. Joydeepji, I love it how you said, I'm here to navigate you to the best program for you, and not necessarily at HUA, but at HUA, we are building out so many different programs. We're offering new courses every quarter, and with amazing faculty like Dr. Joydeep Bhakti and Dr. Vishishtadvaita, Hindu University of America is ready to grow with your support. Please do enroll in this course. We have upcoming retreats and other things as well. Maybe I'll share at the end of this webinar after we hear some closing thoughts from Dr. Vishishtadvaita. And again, I just can't recommend it enough. Please do enroll in this course. We make it easy, we make it engaging, and of course, you just heard from our wonderful faculty. You'll get much more of this in our summer course, Hindu Theology. So with that, let me hand it to Joydeepji, if you have any closing thoughts, or Vishwaji, if you...
Well, I think we should just end the session. And again, write to me if you have questions about the program, you want to enroll in this course. I know there are many people who devote a webinar once a month and attend and get a little bit, but there really is value in attending a class. We don't make it difficult. We don't make it hard for you if you don't have an academic background, if you're not from the humanities. We have a lot of students from law, medicine, engineering, IT backgrounds. What we try and do is present Hinduism sympathetically and introduce you to the textual basis of Hinduism so that you can grow in your own spiritual practice. Thank you. On that, I think we should end for today.
All right. Thank you. Namaste. Dhanyavad, everyone.
Namaste, everyone.
Right. One thing that I'm going to do for the audience who wants to stick around is just share a video of our upcoming retreat. So Vishwaji, thank you so much. If you want to stick around and see what our next retreat is about, healing your life, I'm just going to share that. And thank you everyone for joining. See you in a course.
We have an upcoming retreat that we'll be doing at the Pine Lake Retreat, which is right outside Orlando in Florida. And I'll be co-leading that retreat. And it'll be a 4-day retreat. It's an opportunity for you to engage in living the principles Ayurvedic medicine. It is a journey toward harmony. It is a journey toward love. It's a journey toward health. And all of these are interrelated. harmony, love, and health, they all go hand in hand with each other. And they go hand in hand with knowing your true nature as spirit. Well, we forget. We do, because we're human. To be human is to get caught up in the world, and we do that. And we need sometimes to step outside of the world in order to remember who we are. And that's the purpose of a retreat. The purpose of a retreat is to step outside your ordinary life, to get on an airplane and fly to some beautiful place, not where you're going to have that elaborate, ecstatic vacation, drink alcohol and stay up late at night. No, not that kind of a vacation. A retreat. To retreat away from the world, the dramas of the world. And that's what an Ayurvedic retreat is. It's an opportunity to step outside your ordinary life and to return to awareness of yourself, to become more solid in who you are, to remember what you have forgotten. And that's the beautiful part of it. And I look forward to spending sacred time with all of you as we explore this together. And hopefully at the end of the retreat, and I believe that it will certainly be true, we'll all be a little bit more loving and bring that love out into the world with us. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's webinar. If you have any questions, you can, for me, put my email in the chat as well. If you'd like to participate with HUA in any other way, reach out. I'm the director of outreach. So if you have any opportunities for collaboration, partnership with your local mandir, if you'd like to bring the Bhagavad Gita Pariksha to your region, if you'd like to join our Friends of HUA chapters, if you'd like to host an event or introduce HUA to your community, your group, we're happy to make that happen. Maybe we'll have one of our faculty come out and give a lecture. One of our staff members can give a presentation and answer questions. Yeah, so we're here doing this work. Thank you for being here for today's webinar. If you didn't fill out the poll, please let us know if you're interested in the course or enrolling in a program. It is always my pleasure to be here with you, zooming in. So thank you, everyone. That is it for today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Goodbye. Thank you. Dhanyawad.